Hello, my dear friends. Welcome to my 100-year-old home. I'm so excited to finally start the home design and renovation series, and I know many of you were looking forward to it. We are going to start from the beginning and tour the old house just as it was when my husband and I first bought it. As this house is pretty old, it has its history, secrets and mysteries that I have uncovered and will be sharing with you today. Now buckle up, because we are going to travel back in time, back to the wonderful 2019, November to be exact, just after my husband and I celebrated getting the keys. I have drawn up a floor plan of the house for the purpose of this tour, so that it's easy to navigate. We begin, of course, in the entrance hall. Quite unusual for an ordinary British home to have a foyer of this size. It's pretty grand, if you ask me. My husband and I have spotted this house while we were on our way to view a different one, and we immediately had to stop and call in to book a viewing, because something about this house just felt special. We were in the search of an old house to renovate and put our own stamp on. Off the entrance hall, there is the front living room. From the information I was able to find, the house was built in the early 1920s. It is a Tudor revival style, which was quite popular at the time. Key elements of this style are black wooden beams, often used as a decorative element rather than a structural one, white walls that make the beams stand out, leaded windows, and exposed brick, of course. The house was extended several times in the 70s and the 80s, and that was also the last time it was renovated. I know that because we found all the planning and building permission documents in one of the drawers. The foyer, living room, and this beautiful fireplace are all original to the old house. As soon as we walked in on the day of the first viewing, we got this strong sensation like, this is it. This is our home. And turned out it was. We found out that the home was standing uninhabited for about a year before we got it. Frozen like a time capsule, with all the things still in their place as the previous owner left it, due to passing away from old age. Almost like the house was waiting for us. When looking for a home, you always have the needs and wants list. On our needs list was an old detached home with character and some original features. Spacious rooms with good bones and a large garden. The wants included a bay window, which we got, and tall ceilings, which we don't have in this home. But you can't have it all, right? Let's move into the kitchen and dining area that are separated by some strange built-in cubbies, but still full of wonderful features and great potential. My husband and I requested the house to be sold as is, meaning all of the decor and furniture items to be left in it. And the sellers, who were the owners next of kin, were very happy about that. And we were delighted to inherit so many wonderful vintage and antique items with the purchase of this home. So, all the items you are seeing came with the house. The house resonated with us so much because it felt like people who lived here before us and ourselves were somewhat alike. One of those similarities is the love for hosting parties. Moving through the dining area is the reception room, an extension built in the 80s for exactly that, entertaining guests and this giant snooker table. We have looked at so many houses while searching, and not a single one within our budget and slightly above had this amount of space. For those of you who aren't familiar with homes in the UK, typically they aren't very large. It is a mystery to me how this house wasn't snatched for over a year, because it is truly one of a kind. Maybe it was destiny, or maybe no one had the vision of what it could become like we did. Back through the foyer there is the ground floor bathroom, which is also an extension to the original home, fitted with all the necessities and a sauna, a luxury we were never even considering. Up the stairs is the hallway full of doors that lead into the bedrooms, with a nailed-shut attic access in the ceiling and the deadly staircase that leads to it. Through the hallway is the master bedroom, original to the old house, with a huge built-in closet and vanity, very 70s style. Fun fact, this room has a walk-in cubby that connects it to the next bedroom through its closet, just like Narnia. I haven't pictured it in this tour, but I'm sure I have documented that during the demo that you will be seeing soon. And here I am, sending you a hello from the past. I think it's a good time to tell you about the history of the house and some mysteries I've uncovered. The house before us was only owned by two families. Once just before us lived in it for 50 years, and the original family before them. The house is the oldest one in the street, and back in the day it had a very large plot of land that was slowly divided and sold off as individual plots for all of our neighbors' homes to be built on them. Next room is your classic box bedroom, too small to fit a proper bed. Even though we were about to change everything and completely redesign the house, we liked the way it looked and it inspired many of our decisions. I was desperate to find some old photographs of the home, so I fell through the rabbit hole of the Find My Past website, where you can dig through all kinds of old public records as they become no longer classified. I have never found any photographs, but I found information that blew my mind and made me believe in mysticism. I knew the original owner's name and searched it there. Turned out that one of the original owner's birthday was in October 1891. 100 years later, in October 1991, I was born. The same original owner was born in Bermondsey, London. That's where my husband and I used to live before we moved into this house. The original owner's wedding was in June 1919. 100 years later, in June 2019, my husband and I got married. The couple lived until old age and never had any children, and my husband and I aren't having any of those either. And lastly, the original couple lived in London before moving into this house, very close to where we used to live and the exact area where my husband used to work. Of course, it could all be a coincidence, or did we return home 100 years later? What do you think of all of that, my friends? Moving down the hall, we have the worst of what 70s had to offer, a carpeted bathroom. Then the second biggest bedroom, that is once again an extension with views onto the garden. This room has its very own sink, a feature we chose not to keep. Next door is a cute little powder room with a pink toilet. And finally, we are up in the attic. That is a usable room with very pretty structural beams and a dreadful steep staircase. And that completes the tour. I haven't looked at this footage in almost 3 years and I barely recognized the place. Taking this tour to the past made me appreciate how far we've come, and I can't wait to share this journey with you. I hope you enjoyed this show and tell. If you live in an old home yourself, did you ever feel such curiosity to find out about the history of your house and its previous inhabitants? I would love to hear your stories in the comments. Thank you so much, friends, and I shall see you soon.